Hello guys. So now we shall be discussing regarding the anatomy of your cervical plexus. Okay. So we shall draw the cervical plexus and we shall see what are the branches that are coming out of this cervical plexus over here. Right. So a topic of discussion would be regarding the cervical plexus. Now coming to the cervical plexus, first of all you should know one very important thing, that from where does this cervical plexus start? I mean, from which nerve roots does this cervical plexus start? So cervical plexus starts all the way from C1. Okay, it starts all the way from C1, next C2, C3 and C4. So cervical plexus starts all the way from C1, C2, C3 as well as C4. Okay, so this is what is called as your cervical plexus. Okay, now coming on to this cervical plexus over here, let us say that within the spinal cord you have got anterior rami and posterior rami. First of all, let me give you a small description about anterior and posterior rami, because, or you can also call it as ventral rami or dorsal rami, because all these branches which are coming out of this, the plexus is basically formed by the ventral ramus of C1, C2, C3, C4. First of all, you should know what is ventral ramus. So if you look at a section of spinal cord, okay, for example, this is a section of spinal cord over here. Now in this particular section of spinal cord, if you look here carefully, there are few important things that you should understand. What are those few important things? For example, right. Now what are these important things are that, if you can look here, this is called as your dorsal horn and this is called as your ventral horn. Okay. So if I am dividing the spinal cord into two halves over here like this, so this part of the spinal cord is called as a sensory or the dorsal part of the spinal cord, and this part over here is called as a motor or the ventral part of your spinal cord. Okay. So few important things you need to know, that this is the ventral part of the spinal cord, this is the dorsal part of the spinal cord. Okay. So dorsal or also called as a sensory part, ventral are also called as the motor part of the spinal cord. So dorsal or sensory, ventral or motor. Now from this dorsal part of the spinal cord, what is happening? The neurons, whatever neurons you see in the dorsal part of the spinal cord, all these neurons are called as your sensory neurons. In the same way, the neurons which you see in the ventral part of your spinal cord, right, these are called as a motor neurons. So one is called as a sensory neurons and the other one is called as a motor neurons. So what is happening is that bundles and bundles of sensory neurons and bundles of motor neurons, all of them, they join in a specific nerve here. This particular thing is called as your spinal nerve. This is called as your spinal nerve. Now from the spinal nerve, what is going to happen? These bundles, they go up. You see, the sensory fibers are also going down. And not only this, even the motor fibers, they go up, right? Even the motor fibers are also coming down. So in this way, they are divided into two more branches. So this particular branch is called as a dorsal rami. This is called as your dorsal rami. And this particular one over here is called as your ventral rami. Ventral rami. So what is the function of dorsal rami? Dorsal rami go dorsally back, right, and supply to the skin and the remaining regions on the back. Ventral rami, what does it do? Ventral rami, they come forward like this. From the right side, the ventral rami branches will come. From the left side, the ventral rami branches will come. Together they join and form what? Plexus. So that is the thing I am telling you, that the cervical plexus starts from the ventral ramus of C1 to C4. It starts from the cervical plexus starts from the ventral rami of C1 to C4. Now look at the branches over here. The first branch C1 directly gives to a muscle called as geniohyoid muscle. What is the name of the muscle? The muscle is called as geniohyoid muscle. One direct branch is called as geniohyoid muscle. Now along with this branch, there is one more branch that is going along with this branch. So this branch or this nerve which is going along with this geniohyoid muscle is called as a hypoglossal nerve. Okay, so this particular nerve which you can see over here, this particular nerve is called as your hypoglossal nerve. This is your hypoglossal nerve. Clear? This is your hypoglossal nerve. Next important thing is that from C1 we also come across one more branch. Okay, so this branch joins with another branch. I mean, from the C1 there is a branch called as a ventral ramus of C1. Okay, so from the ventral ramus of C1 you see a branch that is coming out. This joins with a branch of the ventral ramus of C2. So C1 C2 branches are joined together. So from the C1 and C2 branches which have joined together, you see some nerves that are coming out. For example, you see this particular nerve that is coming out of this. Okay, so this particular nerve which I have drawn over here is called as a communicant to vagus nerve. It is like a communication nerve between the cervical plexus and the vagus nerve. So what is this? This is a communicant with the vagus nerve. Okay, this is a communicant with the vagus nerve. Done. Next important thing is that this branch together gives supply to three important muscles. So here there is one branch, here there is a second branch, and here there is a third branch. Now what are these three branches? One branch, the upper one just beneath that C1 root, is called as rectus capitis lateralis. This is a branch that is giving innervation to a muscle called as rectus capitis lateralis. What is that? Rectus capitis lateralis. That is rectus capitis lateralis. Next, it is giving innervation to a second branch called as rectus capitis anterior. That is rectus capitis anterior. It also gives innervation to a third branch called as longus capitis. Longus capitis. So this is one muscle, this is a second muscle, and this is a third muscle. Okay, rectus capitis lateralis, rectus capitis anterior, as well as longus capitis. Okay, so these are the branches that are given between C1 and C2. Okay, and direct branch is called as your geniohyoid muscle. Now from this geniohyoid nerve, which is directly supplying your geniohyoid muscle, from here you also come across another nerve. You see, from here you come across another nerve, and this particular nerve is given a name called as thyrohyoid muscle. I hope all of you know what is thyrohyoid. I want you to watch the muscles in the cervical region, right? All the pharyngeal laryngeal muscles before you come to this video, because there you will understand what is geniohyoid, what is rectus capitis lateralis, and etc. etc. Thyrohyoid muscle is there, thyrohyoid membrane is there. So this is an innervation that is given to thyrohyoid membrane. Thyrohyoid membrane. So what is thyrohyoid membrane? Thyrohyoid membrane is the thyrohyoid membrane is the membrane that is present between the thyroid as well as the hyoid bone, right? So thyroid and the hyoid bone, so thyroid cartilage as well as the hyoid bone, between that there is a membrane called as thyrohyoid membrane. Clear? Right. Now the next important thing we need to know is that between C2 and C3 also there are some branches. But before we discuss those branches, you should know this very important thing, that from this nerve to geniohyoid muscle, you see a branch that is coming all the way like this, right? This branch will later on form a nerve called as Ansa cervicalis. So what is this Ansa cervicalis? So first of all, before we draw this Ansa cervicalis is a loop-like structure that is formed between the branches of C1 to C4, right? So what I am going to tell you here is that from this Ansa cervicalis, you see multiple branches that are coming out and they supply different muscles. So let us see how Ansa cervicalis is formed. So first, this branch which has come out is called as a superior root of Ansa cervicalis. Superior root of Ansa cervicalis. This is the superior root of Ansa cervicalis, right? Now from C2 you see another branch, okay? You see another branch that is going and joining the superior root of Ansa cervicalis. So this branch is called as the inferior root of Ansa cervicalis. Ansa cervicalis. So what has happened? So directly from C1 there is a superior root of Ansa cervicalis, from C2 there is an inferior root of Ansa cervicalis. So together they formed this particular structure, and this is what is called as Ansa cervicalis. Ansa cervicalis. Okay. Now from this particular Ansa cervicalis you see four important branches that are coming. Okay. From this Ansa cervicalis you see 1, 2, 3 as well as 4. There are 4 important branches that are coming out. What are these 4 important branches? One branch is called as superior belly of omohyoid. So this branch supplies to the superior belly of omohyoid. Okay. Next is called as a sternohyoid. Next is called as a sternohyoid, right? And third one is called as a sternothyroid. Sternothyroid, branch to the sternothyroid muscle, branch to the sternohyoid muscle. Okay. Next one is called as the inferior belly of omohyoid. Inferior belly of omohyoid. Okay. Inferior belly of omohyoid. So how many branches in total? We have got few important branches over here. So one is called as a superior belly of omohyoid. Next is called as a sternohyoid. Third one is called as a sternothyroid. And last one is called as the inferior belly of omohyoid. So all these branches together, they form a particular structure called as Ansa cervicalis. Okay. So these are the structures together, they form Ansa cervicalis. Right. Now, next important thing you need to understand over here is that from C2 also we have got a branch that is coming like this. Okay. And from C3 also we see a branch that is coming. So the ventral root, the ventral rami of C2, the ventral rami of C3, together they join and form a branch. Now from this common branch, you see two more branches that are coming out. See, let us say this is one branch and this is another branch that is coming. What are these two branches? One is called as a transverse cervical nerve and the next one is called as a greater auricular nerve. See, one is called as the transverse cervical nerve and the next one is called as a greater auricular nerve. Greater auricular nerve. Transverse cervical nerve and greater auricular nerve. Now from this common branch on the back side also you see three nerves that are coming. Okay, so let us say this is nerve number 1, this is nerve number 2 and this is nerve number 3. Now let us write down what are these nerves here. One nerve is called as longus capitis. Already we discussed longus capitis above, right? So even C2, C3 also gives a branch to longus capitis. The next one is called as longus coli. Next one is called as longus coli. Okay. And third one is called as lesser occipital nerve. Third one is called as lesser occipital nerve. Lesser occipital nerve. So first branch is a branch to a muscle called longus capitis. Second one is a branch to a muscle called as longus coli, and third one is a nerve called as lesser occipital nerve. Okay. Now after discussing these three important things, actually it is out of the topic. Cervical plexus is formed mainly by C1, C2, C3, C4. But there is only one branch that is coming from C5 which will take part in the cervical plexus. So I'm just writing it as C5 like this. Okay. So what is that single branch? What is the single branch is that if you look here carefully from C3, from C4, before I draw that branch, let me finish up this. From C3 and C4, you see a nerve that is coming. This nerve over here is called as your supraclavicular nerve. See this one. This is called as supraclavicular nerve. Now, after this supraclavicular nerve is done, from C3, this is the branch which I am telling. From C3, let me use another color. From C3, from C4 and from C5, three branches come together and join and form a nerve called as phrenic nerve. Phrenic nerve. Clear? So, these are some of the branches which you need to know regarding the cervical plexus. So what are the things we discussed regarding the cervical plexus? Cervical plexus starts all the way from C1, C2, C3, C4 as well as C5. Now coming to C1, there is a direct branch that is going there, and this particular direct branch is called as your geniohyoid muscle. The next important branch is your thyrohyoid muscle. Okay, branch to thyrohyoid. And next there is a third important branch. This is called as a superior root of Ansa cervicalis. Now from C2 there is an inferior root of Ansa cervicalis. Superior root of Ansa cervicalis, inferior root of Ansa cervicalis together join and form Ansa cervicalis. Okay, so this particular Ansa cervicalis whatever is there, it gives out four important branches. One branch to the superior belly of omohyoid, one to the sternohyoid, one to the sternothyroid and inferior belly of omohyoid. Okay. C2, C3 together, the ventral rami of C2, the ventral rami of C3 join together to form two more branches. One is called as a transverse cervical nerve, greater auricular nerve. On the back side, longest capitis, longest coli and lesser occipital nerve. C3, C4 together form supraclavicular nerve, and all these three, C3, C4, C5 form phrenic nerve. So this is all you need to know regarding the cervical plexus, guys. So thank you so much for watching my video. Goodbye.